Let's talk about something Doug Ford wouldn't say, because he talked about his friend Chrystia upon her retirement from cabinet, but not
Oh,
as an
my
MP. I think she's staying
dear
on as an
friend.
MP. My dear friend Chrystia, she's the teaspoon. So there's uh, soup spoon, regular spoon, teaspoon in the spoons of the
Mhm.
cuddling, with Doug Ford, Mark Carney, and Chrystia Freeland in the silverware drawer. But Pierre Poilievre was asked what Chrystia Freeland's legacy will be in his view. Yeah, this is I want to thank my friend Chrystia Freeland. Let's hit this video of Poilievre talking about Chrystia Freeland's legacy, because everybody's like all of a sudden pretending like she wasn't absolutely one of the worst ministers in the history of ministers.
Mhm.
Um, the the worst foreign affairs minister, the worst finance minister, um, an absolute goblin who invoked the Emergencies Act with glee, freezing people's bank accounts and putting their livelihoods and their ability to feed their children into jeopardy. Why? Because they resisted unconstitutional government lockdowns. She did that. She cackled when she did it. So, anyways, I have nothing nice to say about her. Nothing. Nothing. I'm not going to pretend like she did anything nice. I won't celebrate if she dies. I'm not going to be the other side of the Charlie Kirk argument, but I got nothing to say about her. I'm glad she's retiring from cabinet. And anyways, Poilievre was asked, what will Chrystia Freeland's legacy be? And I feel like he likes her as much as I do.
What will Chrystia Freeland's legacy be, in your view?
Great question.
It's a good question. I think it was that she resigned rather than introduce a $62 billion deficit. I think she said the Liberals were trying to force her to introduce a deficit of $62 billion. And she said, this is irresponsible, it is out of control, and it will cause massive inflation. And of course, that deficit went ahead anyway, and now it's even bigger. She's probably trying to get out of town and as far away as possible before this disastrous November budget comes. And I don't blame her.
The thing is, she didn't object to the spending. She just didn't want to be the one who had to announce it. She would never vote down the budget. She would never
Right.
vote against the government on the budget, right?
Right.
So
she just didn't want to be left holding the person holding the bag. And this is why she's
attached to it. But she's
That's
fine
right.
with the spending.
And this is why she's getting out of Dodge early, I believe. Like yesterday when we talked about her taking sort of a diplomatic position in Ukraine and stepping back from the cabinet, I thought to myself, what is it that she's running from? And of course, it's going to be the budget in November.
Her record,
because
yeah,
well, sure, because it's the budget is a compounding budget. Like it's how many months late? Like what did Poilievre say yesterday? We're 2/3 through the fiscal year, and we still don't have a budget. So a great deal of that budget is going to be hung around her neck. She won't be forgotten what she did to Canada. And I believe her legacy, if we're asking ourselves, what do you believe Chrystia Freeland's legacy is going to be? It will be being the best wingman to the worst prime minister Canada has ever had and will ever have. Because if it weren't for Chrystia, we saw how fast Justin Trudeau fell apart after Chrystia Freeland withdrew her support. And just imagine where we would be at today, Canada, if Chrystia Freeland would have found those balls several years earlier when she knew everything was falling apart, when Canadians were telling her everything was falling apart. I think that her legacy will be as the best political sellout Canada has ever seen.
If you think about the finance ministry as a bus, she's the one who cut the brakes on the bus. And she just bailed before it went over the cliff. But she's the guy underneath with the wire snips cutting the brake cables. And now she's to serve as Canada's special representative for Ukraine. Maybe she can find some geriatric Ukrainian Nazis to clap for them in person while she's there again, because she loves to do that.
Let's hope. Let us hope.
Horrible, horrible, horrible woman.